a realtor.
Fantastic. Can't complain.
Perfect. Tell me about what's new.
Yeah, so I mean, how always included. Just you have a little more patience. Or I'm on a fix up here days, so that'll be a fun experience to witness it. It's literally an empty shell of a house, so
Really?
it's going to be really fun to be a part of that.
Cool. You tell a little bit about yourself.
I'm a real estate professional area, especially investors, and mainly focus on house hacks, duplex or a triplex on one side and rent out the others, and quickly eliminate living expenses. And currently doing that, $100
Yeah.
to have that opportunity.
Yeah. So yeah, as you say, it's definitely a fun thing I've learned from professionals like yourself. What got you into this? What got you into being a realtor? How did you learn about this? Tell us about your upbringing.
Yeah, so growing up, my unknowingly got me interested in real estate. They did a couple of those courses where you'd come down to the cities and watch somebody talk about how to be a flipper or whatever it was. And there was a couple times they brought VHS tapes. So this was old.
Nostalgic.
And so I watched them, and so then kind of got interested in that, and then HGTV, flip shows. So I was always interested in real estate, and then when it was time to go to college, I found out that St. Cloud State has a real estate degree. So I was like, well, I'm interested in real estate, so let's find out what that is. And so then I ended up getting my bachelor's in that, and became a tax assessor because I thought I wanted to be an appraiser. And then I got my sales license right after graduation because I wanted to make more money, and then it just kind of spiraled into being a full-time agent. And I've always wanted to be an investor ever since, like I said, I was a kid. So it just made sense to help others achieve that as well.
Cool. So tell us about being a real estate degree. From my knowledge, for most people who want to get into real estate, they go to be a realtor. They go to a couple of courses, workshops, such as your parents did, including myself. But you're telling me you went to school to get a degree for it? Talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because it is geared more towards commercial space. So like the commercial appraisal, commercial property management, commercial brokerage. So you actually get a large scope or a big scope of large real estate. So, whenever I told people I was in a real estate degree, they're like, you have to get a 4-year degree to sell houses? It's like, no. Most of it isn't even based on like residential sales or anything like that. So it's actually, you learn a lot about things that most realtors, even long-term professionals, don't know anything about. So it's really cool. And then you do learn a lot of the basic residential stuff in your first couple classes, so it's not like they completely cut that out. But it's really in depth, and it's really fun because it's a well-known program in the real estate profession. So if you come down here and talk to people at JLL or Cushman or any of these large commercial spaces, they probably went to St. Cloud or they know people that came from that program. So it's really cool to be a part of that.
Cool, I like that. I would have never guessed. So as a realtor, tell us a little bit more about the process of helping potential home buyers get into being a homeowner.
Yeah, so I mean, it's no different from any other realtor. The first steps are getting pre-approved, talking with lenders, seeing what you can afford. But then where I can help more is, since I do specialize with investments and the house hacking, I can have that conversation with people of like, do you want to pay a $2,000 a month mortgage and you're spending over $25,000 a year, or do you want to maybe spend $500-$600 a month and get the same thing? You still get a big beautiful home, you're just renting out one side. So I can have that conversation, and then also I can help people find off-market properties where, normal realtors, they set you up on an MLS search. Maybe they tell you to look at Zillow,
Yep.
and that's all they can do. Whereas, working with people that fix and flip or have investment properties, they're more likely to be like, hey, yeah, I have something that I might want to sell off market. I just don't want to list it and have hundreds of showings, especially during COVID. People are like, if I can sell to an investor or sell to somebody really interested, I would just rather do that. So, I can help a lot more people by doing things like that, because I helped a guy close on a home with him and his family a few weeks ago that we went off market, and we're the only people offering on this place, so we kind of got more favorable terms, and the appraisal came in above list or above offer price, so
it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, so it really helps to be able to work with both sides of real estate like that.
Cool. I like that because when I got into real estate, I was told to work with a real estate investor-friendly realtor because there was a difference.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about that difference?
Yeah, so it's funny because you can probably talk to any realtor and they'll say they work with investors, or they say they can. They're investor friendly, but people don't know, the cost of rehab of anything, or they don't know how to underwrite or value properties. So like, if you want to buy that duplex and at some point you want to move out, well, you want to make sure that you're not spending money on your mortgage when you're not living there. So, you need to be able to do that. You need to have the contractors that not only are professional and licensed, but maybe they're more likely to do side jobs or lower price jobs for you because you bring them so much business, or because you've helped them out before. So those are kind of a few of the big items, but it's also knowing the difference in what you're looking for. Most people, when they look at houses, they either want the nice pretty home, or they want something that maybe needs new paint, and that's it. Whereas like, I can walk into a house with, like you or any other investor and be like, okay, yeah, kitchen might need to be gutted, this might need, but after we do this, it could be worth this, and you can do this or do that. Whereas, typical realtors, it's like, okay, well, here's a house, do you like it? Let's write a contract and hope we get it, And also, when you're dealing with tenants, it's a lot more tricky because you're gonna want leases, you're gonna want proof that they're paying, especially right now. So there's a lot of things that like a regular agent that doesn't deal with investors or tenants or anything like that, they don't even think of those things.
That's very true.
The CEO of Optimum Outreach. Optimum Outreach is a telecom brokerage where we assist businesses with their phone, TV, internet, and wireless services. We understand how frustrating it can be for business owners and IT professionals to discuss their needs with salespeople. Optimum Outreach offers an unbiased menu of options based on our clients' needs and locations with highlighted recommendations from experts. We work with businesses across the nation who find us organically on our website or are referred to us through our ambassador program, where we empower folks with tools and resources to create their own businesses. Optimum Outreach, working together to win together.
Everyday Joe, what is the process of you helping an upcoming investor? As you're a realtor, what is your 5-year plan as being a realtor? Are you looking to step out and build your own properties? Are you looking at? You tell me what your next goals are.
Yeah, so my 5-year plan is in year 1, well, going on year 2 now, so I got 3 years left of it, but the 5-year plan, is to own enough property to where I'm completely propelled and self-sufficient based off of my rental income. So what that allows me to do is now, if I want to focus on real estate, I can do that. If I want to focus on helping people, I can do that. If I want to travel, I can do that. And the financial freedom aspect of real estate investing, and so that's where I see myself in the 5 years is not on the hamster wheel of sales, not begging people to work with me, but instead like attracting people because they want to do what I'm doing, and I'm able to show people what I'm doing. So.
Yep. And I totally agree with that. And I have to tell the story. So Dan's my realtor. And a year ago when I bought my house, I'm looking for a duplex. I'm looking for an investment property. And after showing, so many of them, well over 70 showings. We finally found the right property, and everything you were saying is what I learned through YouTube. Get into an investment property, live on one side, rent the other side out, have that side that you're renting out pay for the mortgage. That amount that's paying for the mortgage now allocates for you to live basically a mortgage-free, rent-free life. And I'm now living that. So I make a good, after the rent is paid, I make about $62 profit, which goes down to my Xfinity bill. So now I'm living mortgage-free and also internet-free. So one thing I recommend to people that are looking to get into being an investor, get into real estate, finding these people who are doing it, finding people who are, again, real estate friendly, whether that's having someone that's on the mortgage side that's actually helping you, and also who is actually helping you walk through the process, because we had looked through a lot of houses, and there's some houses that look pretty on the outside, but when we went on the inside, it was not that. And so I definitely give you kudos for getting me out of some bad investments. So appreciate that from you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one thing I want to say before we wrap things up is, so as you're building your portfolio, as you're building your client list, what is your drive towards being a realtor? What was your calling behind it? You talked about it earlier when you were going to college, but what was that wake up call and say, hey, this is something that's going to allocate for the lifestyle that I'm looking to live?
Yeah, so it's kind of the whole, not to be stereotypical, but be your own boss. Like, not necessarily the being your own boss thing, but I'm able to tell me what I'm worth. Whereas like when you work when you work for somebody, they tell you what you're worth. Like when I was an assessor, I was making this much money, and if I wanted more, well, that's unfortunate because that's not how it works. But like now, it's like if I want more money, I go get it. Like I hustle for it, So I think it was more so the drive to be, I can value myself. I think that was my biggest driver to wanting to be a realtor. And then being able to help people with the investing part of things, because I push people a little too hard with the investing stuff, my family included. Like my cousin reached out to me a few months ago wanting to buy a house, and I told him I wouldn't help him if he didn't want to buy a duplex. Yeah, because it's like
it doesn't make sense.
He just had a baby, and I'm like, man, like you want to spend over $20,000 a year in a mortgage? Like, no, your baby needs that money.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So it's like being able to help people do that is, I would say, the biggest driver of what keeps me going. And the reason I wanted to get into it was, being able to value myself.
The educational piece, and that was the same thing with a lot of my friends. They asked, hey, can you connect me to someone? I've connected to some of my friends who are now, who have duplexes as well. Yeah. But I said, don't be my friend. I was like, don't come to me for advice if you're not going to take it. And the only advice I'm ever going to tell someone is to be an investor and to live free, to have those freedoms where you don't have to trade your time for money. Someone else is doing that for you, so you can have the time that you would have to do that now with your family, your friend, your loved ones, et cetera, et cetera. And I want to piggyback. I have a family member of mine that said the same thing. Hey, I'm looking to get a house. I'm like, no, because if you were having trouble coming up with rent, you're going to have trouble coming up with mortgage. It's literally the same payments, just different responsibility, and one comes with a lot more. You're not only paying the mortgage, but you're paying for any utensils, appliances, things that crap out, and those things do add up. As an investor, I've learned to put insurance on those things, and once you have those insurance on there, it helps out. But it is an investment. It is a risk, but the risk has a lot of reward behind it, which is your time and your freedom. So kudos to you for continuing to help people bridge that gap, and kudos to you for being a living example.
Yeah.
How can people find you and stay connected to you?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on Facebook. It's just my name, Dan Anshus. Otherwise, my phone. I'm always available at my phone. So if people want to shoot me a text or a phone call, they can do that. My number's 320-292-6986.
Perfect. Well, guys, this is Denarius. We're here with Startup. We're with Dan Anshus, one of my good friends, realtor, tackling the market out here in Minneapolis. And look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode.